Hey everybody, welcome to, what are we, prompt to prototyping? Can you hear me okay? I think we're having trouble with that monitor. So either you might want to move to this side and watch this one. I made the text 300% bigger, so hopefully you can see it. This, if you read the agenda, it is 30 minutes of unstructured live coding, vibe coding. Anything could go wrong. It's either going to work spectacularly or it's going to fail amazingly. Either way, hopefully it'll be entertaining. Do we have any developers in the audience? Like, I'm talking any developer, web developer, app developer, script developer. Got maybe half the hands? How many are like robotics, engineer, developers, ROS2, all of that? Okay, it's a robot conference, so of course we'd see a few hands, but definitely less than the overall robotics engineers. My name is Matthieu, and I'm the chief developer evangelist of RealSense. Titles are always changing a little bit. I'm maybe chief hacker at RealSense. What I want to do, so this is Elroy, my little robot named Elroy. I built him out of a DF robot $35 chassis. I put a RealSense D435 on him. It's running a Latte Panda compute board. It's an x86 with like an Arduino GPIO set. I have like a dozen of these I've been hacking on Raspberry Pi versions, but what's really cool is it runs ROS2 and RealSense, which means that whatever you build on this little $200 little toy will work on probably a $30,000 ROS2 RealSense robot. So I used to think robotics was hard. Like, I used to think, ROS2 took a big learning curve, RealSense, took a learning curve. So then Gen AI came along, right? Who's using like Copilot or Cursor AI? Holy cow, that's a game changer. So I want to try something. I want to do some vibe coding, see if we can get this thing to identify. I'm gonna start with a blank Python script, and we're gonna do some vibe coding together. I've got one prompt that's kind of big. I'll walk you through it. That worked a couple of times so far. Hopefully it'll work again today. It's gonna detect a person. Using RealSense, it'll also do depth, so it'll say how far away the person is, and then we'll ask it to start sending some ROS2 commands to the robot to make it follow me, or at least start spinning wheels when it sees me, and then we'll play a little bit more. But while I think this is fascinating, and hopefully it works, and you think it's fascinating, I want to throw something out there as a challenge to do next, because I think I've stumbled on something even more fascinating, and I heard, anyhow, I'll get to that later. So I've got a speaker on it. Let me see if we can hear it say something. So hello. Let me get the motors started. That'll work, maybe. So I did write I wrote a motor controller out of, I'm just using Node.js on this robot, and I'm tied into Fermata. I was using Johnny 5. It's an cool old IoT open source project called Johnny 5. So I'm using it to talk to Fermata. It says Robotics motor started. And then I have a RealSense script that just launches the native RealSense 2. Where is it? Start RealSense. I think that's it. So then we go into Cursor. So let me switch this out. I was playing. We want to start from scratch. We want to start with, here. So we're starting with demo there. So demo.py, blank script. This is Cursor AI. So I'm gonna put this prompt in here. I'm gonna explain to you what it says. Like I said, it's gonna be entertaining. Okay, so what we have, I'm asking this to do. Here we go. God, I'm a Mac user, so I get on anything other than Mac, and I don't know which way to move the mouse. I want to create a follow-the-person Python script for this robot running ROS2 Jazzy and using the RealSense D435 stereo depth camera. Please use Python or PyRealSense2-beta. That's the version that runs with Jazzy. So you can I pipped installed it a while ago. And then my motor controller. That long UUID is so I've got lots of robots walking around my house. This is unique to this Latte Panda one, so I'm saying command velocity to that. And then I'm asking it to please have the robot perform object detection looking for a human. So I'm asking it to use YOLO. If a human is detected, please move the robot forward at 20% velocity and continue moving as long as the robot is more than a meter away, I think. Yeah. More than a meter away, and stop the robot when it reaches a meter away. And then let's draw a screen so we see what the robot's seeing, and identify a human with a rectangle, typical computer vision stuff. So, can I get a drum roll? Thank you. That's it. This is my favorite part, watching it write code. We're going to try to do this without writing a single line ourselves, so hopefully it behaves. That's amazing to me. In this day and age, it writing all of this code. Okay. Now it's telling us what it did. We'll say, yeah, let's accept. Now we'll say, let's run it. I have a feeling since it's looking at all you guys, it's going to see a lot of people and its wheels are probably going to go crazy. We'll do it anyway. So let me say Python demo.py, I think. I've got him on a box so he doesn't run away. You at Cursor AI, it creates the environment. See, look at him. Look at his wheels are moving. He's seeing lots of people, so I think I'm going to turn him this way so he only sees me. Oh, hang on. Can I get a round of applause? That was pretty darn awesome. I didn't write a line of code. Now what I think is fascinating is the RealSense SDK is open source. It's been available for a decade, modifications and enhancements. ROS2 is open source. So it makes Cursor AI easy to find all of these examples on the internet to write a RealSense computer vision ROS2 twist application. That's what makes all of this possible. So now he sees the audience over there. And he sees the gentleman, or the lady, Brittany, way over there. Okay, so if he doesn't see anyone, he should stop. Maybe I got him. Oh, he thinks the microphone is, oh, that's weird. He stopped. Another round of applause. I don't know about you, but it makes me want to just start making him do all sorts of other crazy things. Like, that was too easy. We're only 10 minutes into the talk. That's pretty amazing. I had another thing I was playing with. I was like, let's make him adjust his speed based on, let's have them adjust the speed based on distance to the person. So let me add one more thing into the prompt, see if he behaves. Let me say, oh, maybe I should stop it, huh? How do you stop it? Stop, hang on, here he is. Okay, he stopped. So let's say, well, the motor didn't stop. I had to get out of the way anyway. Let's say the increase the motor speed, the further away the robot is from the human, and slow the robot down the closer it gets to the human. You ever try typing with 100 people looking over your back? So I asked, I gave it another prompt. It's going to modify the code. Maybe. Problem? No! The demo gods. Let me try that again. Oh, you can't see the speaker. Awesome. Oh, we could use that on the next prompt. Oh, sin. Let's try this again. There we go. There we go. We're having some internet connectivity problems. Cursor's pretty smart, right? Smarter than me. Oh. That's pretty cool that Cursor does this. Okay. Let me try to move this. So now that wheel should stop here in a second, right? Did it? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of walk in front of it and try to get a little further away, and we'll see if it speeds up like it's supposed to. You know, I'm at a bad angle, but it should have like my distance on top. Further away. It doesn't look like it's speeding up to me. Is it? Oh, is it still slow? Is it doing the opposite of what? No, it stopped. Okay, so I'm a meter away. And it stopped. Okay, so now I get a little further back. There it goes. I should have told. Oh, look, it says the speed on the console side. So this is fascinating. Can we have another round of applause? It's got a speaker there. We could have it say something like maybe how far away I am, or human detected, or what. Any ideas what else we should do? Let me have it stop. Let's say, how about let's say every second announce the distance between the human and the robot. I don't know about y'all, but like what we've just done in like 15 minutes would take me all day, maybe 2, right? Okay, so it's thinking, it's generating. remind me for the challenge. Like we could geek out for 10 or 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes on just the challenge idea, what's next. We'll do that after this. Okay, there it goes, it's modifying. It had a little Wi-Fi connection for a second issue. Look at that. I mean, I'm watching the code. It's got velocity, twist, YOLO. Dang. Okay, so reminder, I'm going to say accept. We asked it to announce when we think that mic's on, we asked it to announce the distance from the person every second. Python demo.py. Okay, he's firing up. Oh, that's interesting. It found its own error. Look, it fixed its own little error. Gosh, the technology, GenAI is insane.
Distance to person is 2.1 meters. Distance to person is 2.2 meters. Distance to person is 2.2 meters. Distance to person is 2.3 meters. Distance to person is 2.6 meters. Distance to person is 3.4 meters. Distance to person is 2.1 meters. Distance to person is 1.9 meters. Distance to person is 1.8 meters. Distance to person is 2.0 meters. Distance to person is 3.4 meters. Distance to person is 1.7 meters. Distance to person is 0.0 meters. Distance to person is 0.3. Distance to person is 1.6 meter. 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 Distance to person is 1.6 meter.
I don't even see a stop. Does anyone see a stop?
1.6 meter. Distance to person is 1.6 meter. Distance to person is 1.5 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 meter. Distance to person is 1.4 meters. Distance to person is 0.0 meter. Distance to person is 0.5 meter. Distance to person is 0.5 meter.
There we go. That's how you stop it. So that is amazing to me. Like we wrote a follow me application, RealSense, distance, ROS2 twist commands in like 10 minutes and then 15 minutes in improvement. Pretty amazing. When I saw this happen, it blew my mind. Like this blew my mind. Like you start imagining what else could I do? Because this is ROS2. Like the Unitree, the Deep Robotics, all these things are running ROS2. It's like you can build this with this little $200 thing. Stop. It's amazing what you could do and apply the same code to a $30,000 ROS2 RealSense robot. So here's the challenge. I said, I had to write code. Well, I didn't write the code. Cursor AI wrote the code. But what if I just took the RealSense camera stream, streamed it up to, I started with ChatGPT, but then I said, ChatGPT at the time didn't know how to do ROS2 commands very well, so I switched it to Claude. Stop. I switched it to Claude, and I started streaming all the RealSense telemetry to Claude, and I just started prompting Claude in the cloud. I said, can you identify a human in the frame? It starts coming back, yes, yes, yes. I said, can you describe what you see? And it says, I see a very old man. I was like, hey, stop it. No. So then I said, okay, it obviously can see me, right? So then I started saying to Claude, could you generate ROS2 twist commands to follow me, just like we did with Cursor AI, and I kid you not, Claude was returning perfect ROS2 commands to the robot to twist it. So here's me not even writing any code. This is me just talking to the robot. And then I started getting out of its view, and then I said, can you find the human in the room? Claude started sending ROS2 twist commands to turn the robot in a circle looking for me, and then it stopped when it found me. The other side of my mind blew. It's like, this is getting really, really, really interesting. I think one day soon, and that was all ROS2. So if you're a robot, whether it's a humanoid or an AMR like this, you can say avoid obstacles or find the red ball or whatever you want to tell it to do. If it had an arm like that stretch robot over there that was also all ROS2, I don't know if I'm assuming it is. I imagine we're not far away from the day where you could just buy any ROS2 hardware with whatever type of thing you want, because those arms are controlled by ROS2, the AMRs are controlled by ROS2, that Unitree G1 is ROS2, the robot dogs that he has is ROS2. I think we're not far away from just being able to tell it something interesting to do and let LLMs, multimodal LLMs figure it out. So that was my mind-blowing take-home, try it idea. I did it, and it works. And it at first you're kind of thinking, that's really crazy. But then when you go to sleep and you wake up the next morning, you're like, I just put a brain on a ROS2 robot that I can just tell it what to do now, or maybe just give it a mission. Let it problem solve and figure the mission out. That's all I have for you. I don't know if you have any questions. Applause for me instead of the robot this time. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions? We're way ahead of schedule, so we've got 8 minutes of questions if you want. If not, yes, sir. Brittany says, I'll take the robot's mic.
As good as the robot. I'm in education, so one of the things I see with my students is instead of learning the coding, you see where that's going?
Yeah.
The two-edged sword.
Yeah.
You're already a senior developer. You understand what's going on. Where did the next generation of senior developers come from?
That's an excellent question. I mean, when I'm hacking on this thing, I'm using Cursor AI now all the time, and I'm saying it's my code. It's not really my code, right? I mean, I have to know enough as an engineer or a student to tell it what to do, and maybe if it's not understanding properly, you could go in and tweak the code yourself. Sometimes it's easier than explaining it, but man, the world is changing so fast. I love programming. I've been programming since I was 10 years old, and I enjoy it. I'm just not sure I would tell a student to learn it anymore. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. Maybe it's firmware. Maybe it's all the low-level bits and stuff and motors. I don't know, but being a robotics engineer, for those of you that raise your hand, it's more than software development. It's all the hardware that goes with it. You have to learn Ubuntu, you have to learn ROS2, you have to learn actuators, motors, voltage, like there's engineering. All of that engineering plus programming. Bill, I don't know what the answer is for students. It's moving so fast. Does anyone else have an idea, like what should students be learning right now? Are these elementary, high school, what are they? Junior college. AI modeling? I don't know, does anyone have a suggestion of what college students should be learning right now with respect to robotics and AI?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a suggestion as much as I think you've got another tool. The tool is the AI, whatever, cursor or whatever. You have to learn how to use that and the nuances of it in order to program the robots. I look at this as opening up the field to allow more people for robot programming. And so, whereas you maybe aren't learning the bits and bytes that a senior guy or whoever may be learning, you're learning the nuances of the other tool that handles all the bits and bytes. But you still have to know how to use that tool correctly. But again, I look at this, and the reason I came to it, I'm not a programmer at all. The only reason I came to this is because I wanted to see, and I think I got the answer, I wanted to see if this could potentially open up the playing field for people to actually get into programming, and I think the answer is yes.
I loved how you said, or at least my brain interpreted what you said as everyone potentially is now a programmer,
right?
A robotics programmer.
I think they could be, yeah.
I did a little research before this talk, and the numbers I found on ChatGPT were general developers. I'm talking script writers, web app developers, mobile app developers, including roboticists, were 30 million people worldwide. And then a subset of that, the robotics developers, are only 500,000 developers. And you kind of wonder, it's because it's hard. You got to know all these disciplines to work on a robot, the hardware, the engineering, the software, etc. So I think you're right. I think what we are doing, I think the industry or Gen AI is opening this up to where everyone is potentially a robotics programmer. That was a great answer.
Sorry. My advice would be everybody, this is a solved problem now. Everybody should be a product owner now, product designer, product developer, and start looking at solving problems, because you no longer need to focus on trying to do the bits and bytes and even program. What can you do with this? What can you solve? What can you do?
That's an excellent question, because this little thing, Elroy is his name, he's not going to do much because he's so little. But you're right. You want to fold clothes? You want to cook dinner? Do you need a humanoid? Maybe we'll all be building our own humanoids that compete against all these really cool new ones we're seeing walking around. That's an excellent point too. Yes, sir. We got another question or an idea.
In terms of prompt engineering and coding, I think it's personally I feel like since when I started when I was in when I am in college, when we start with ROS2, it's often you have to learn a lot about the nodes, the connections, the call time, and all those things that need to go with it. But I think we have come to a point where we can use, because the thing about ROS2 is all the packages are there, and then all you need to do is how to connect those packages together and get a product that you want. But at the end of the day, I think today we have come to the point where now you don't have to worry about how you're going to code and connect those packages, but rather you can start thinking about stuff that Unity or other companies would do, because they are thinking about how am I going to optimize this navigation. So as a student or as an engineer, your time now is going to be, your brain power, instead of being diverted to these kind of tasks, would be assigned to writing that specific optimization code or that specific navigation code or that specific neural algorithm or whatever that is new.
Yeah.
That is what you're going to spend your time on and then work. But then after you code that new stuff and LLMs, once they connect those LLMs to like the LLMs available to your code script, then even that becomes part of the learning package that your LLM has. So in future, when you want to use it, you're not going to have to go through that entire code script again, but rather it will interpret that code script and maybe even adapt it for other cases. So I think you're coming to a point where I think this is an example that people give as to why these kind of LLM generated tools are good, is because our brain power is now going to be fully focused on creating new and
Next
new
level.
and new. It's never about learning the existing thing. But I feel like down the line, we are also going to come to a point where there's going to be developers and programmers who would be essentially learning programming that every computer science engineer must know today. So like maybe 10 years down the line, a lot of people might not, I mean not 10, but 20, 30 years down the line, a lot of people might not know the bits and pieces, but knowing that bits and pieces, it's in and of itself going to be a high paying or like a separate kind of job. So instead of 30 million people, there might just be 1 million people, but they are still going to be valuable, because even in this example, there were nuances that were not rectified, which I feel like it is those people who are going to go in and then rectify.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's going to be a different kind of career space, I feel like.
Well, thank you for that. I think it resonated with the other questions, and you guys are awesome, and please give yourselves a round of applause now. Thank y'all very much for coming. I appreciate it. I can't wait to hear what else y'all build. That's cool. Thank you.